Welcome to Behind the Sign Podcast. It's your girl, Shawnte, the Realtor, and
Courtney here to give you all the deets on what goes on behind the sign.
Behind the sign, yeah. We see the glossy frame, but we're shifting the lens. Where the hustle starts and the blueprint begins. Two agents, one mission, keeping it real. The soul of the story, the heart of the deal. Real conversations behind the sign.
And welcome to episode 12. Woo! Yay!
We moving on up.
Moving. Yes.
And today we're going to be discussing what happens after closing, because as we know, we go through the transaction, we close on the property, but that's not the end of your home ownership journey. So we're going to give you a few tidbits about what goes on after the closing.
Yes. So we're not going to hold and take up too much of your time today, but one of the very first things when you say yes to the address and you move, what do you do?
What do you do?
You're in your house. You're like, ooh, I'm moving all my things in. Yes, you're going to move all your stuff in and make it fabulous and do all the things. But you want to make sure you focus on getting your homestead exemption.
Absolutely.
That is definitely one of the very first things you need to do. And you don't have to wait. Back in the day, you used to have to wait until the end of the year.
Yeah, to file that.
To file that on your taxes. But now they changed the laws and you can get it done pretty much right after you close. So why wait? Don't put that off. Because, at the end of the year or the beginning of the year, everyone has a list of to-dos. That's one less to do you need to do outside of closing, and then change it, because all you have to do is change your driver's license to that address. And get it done so you can start saving money, because the taxes will be higher, and we're talking about Texas now. Here you can get it done and start saving some cha-ching, right?
Absolutely. So let's talk just a little bit more about the tax exemption so people know exactly what that means. Basically, the Homestead Tax Exemption is you get a tax break on your property taxes. And so, for example, let's say your property taxes in Harris County are, $6,000 a year. Filing that homestead tax exemption, we can never determine exactly how much money you're going to be able to take advantage of off, but it could be the difference of like $75 per month off of your property taxes. Everything's kind of escrowed in between your mortgage, your principal and interest, and then your taxes. And then sometimes that can give you $75 cut, $120 cut. It really just depends on the area that you're in and how that works. So that's one of the beauties of living in Texas, is that we get that tax exemption. And guess what? If you're a veteran, and let's hypothetically say you're not 100% at 100% disability, which means you have zero property taxes. Let's say you're at 80% or 75%. You can put that homestead tax exemption on top of the veterans taxes and be able to get an additional break. So filing the homestead tax exemption really does help a buyer out, a homeowner out, and not have to worry about additional high taxes every single year.
Definitely.
Once you file it that one time, it's not something that you have to do annually. You only do it that one time and you're good to go.
And it's for that one house too. It is for a primary residence.
Right.
So let's just say if you decide to move later, and you have currently the homestead tax on this particular house, but where you're moving to, and you want to use it there, then it won't be on both.
Right.
So you're going to have to choose which one, but of course put it on the one that's going to cost you the most money. And typically that's probably going to be your primary.
Yeah. Absolutely. So make sure you guys take advantage of that. If you have more questions, we would love to answer those for you. What's some other things that buyers have to consider, like right after closing?
Right after closing, I would just say, the home maintenance stuff. Like if you're buying a new home, especially if you're getting new home appliances and stuff like that, register your appliances with the
Yes.
warranty company.
Just don't forget to do that, because sometimes we
Everybody
move in
forget to do it.
and they get so excited and get to moving around. It's like, oh man, I missed the mark to register my stuff to get covered. So
Actually, a lot of people kind of really miss it. Now, granted, we do promote for resales, home warranties,
Yes.
which help with stuff like that.
and we
for sure.
negotiate that in your contracts.
Right. We do help you negotiate that as well. But it's also good, especially if you have newer appliances and stuff like that, to go ahead and get your double savings stacked up, because a lot of things in the future, if something was an issue or become hazardous problem, you will be able to go through the warranty company and they could take care of it all
Yeah.
as well. And just depending on what's wrong, this person, the home warranty might cover this and the warranty might cover that. So it's better to just have yourself already covered, right?
Yeah, have yourself covered. Absolutely. And even going back off of the home warranty, things like your insurance, making sure that you have that outlined, making sure that you keep up with your paperwork. I think that's one of the things that I kind of stress to my buyers is have yourself a file of like your closing documents, your warranty information, your home insurance information. So you're not scrambling when a problem or something does come up in the future and you're like, well, what do I do? Create yourself like a home file.
Right.
And just have that in a safekeeping so you'll know exactly where those items are. I know I've been guilty of that in the past with a house. I was just like, oh man, where are my papers at? And so it just definitely helps to go ahead and put all of your stuff combined together so that when you do have that, you can have that really available.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. I mean, and I say when you move in, get started with your home organization file.
Yeah.
We all have goals.
We all have
and
goals.
Life happens, and somehow we don't know what nothing is,
Or find somebody that's good at that. If you're not good at organizing,
right.
Designate someone to say, hey, can you help me do, this, get things in order so that you're not scrambling again when something comes up.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I would say focusing on kind of so depending on what you're buying, whether you're buying new, whether you're buying resale, many times buyers have an idea of something they want to do. They might, whether it's new or resale, you might want to switch out your chandeliers and put in ceiling fans in every room or whatever the case may be. Just kind of put yourself on a game plan and budget. Set yourself up a plan where you can budget for your future projects of what you like to do. I remember, Courtney, you were saying usually every year you will always do a house project every year, right? And
every
you have to plan for that, right?
Had to plan for it.
Right? So,
you definitely have to plan for it. So if you're a person who says, well, hey, I want the deck, or hey, I want the pool, or hey, I want this, whatever your goals are, minor or major, it's definitely good to set a plan in place and make sure that you budget for that. Put that money to the side and say, hey, this is for my house project, or hey, this is for my home maintenance, whether it's pest control, paint, whatever it be. We just encourage to, create that budget, because the reality is that some people think, oh, I just move in a house and I don't have to do anything else. Absolutely not the case. You definitely move into your house and, you have these plans because you just never know what's going to come up. That's why warranties, insurance, budgets, planning is super important.
totally.
Yeah. Super important.
Totally agree. And the thing is, no one ever wants to be house poor and, trying to feel like they're not able to do anything. So it's always good to start thinking about this type of stuff prior to you getting in the thick of things. If you would always say, if you fell into plan, you're planning to fail. So
and it's the truth.
It's real life.
It sounds cliche, but it's really the truth.
It's true. I remind myself every day. I'm like, what you doing?
Right. And we're human, so we have some moments where we fail throughout the day or throughout the week, and it's because maybe we just waited to the last minute or procrastinated.
But we have to reset.
You have to reset and you pivot and you figure it out.
Because if your goal is your goal, you can still do it. Just plan ahead and let's get it done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Another thing that I think buyers should understand after the closing is understanding your escrow account, right? Understanding that there may be shortages, understanding how to manage it, and understanding what that escrow account means, right? So your escrow account is basically for your taxes and insurance, and your mortgage company puts that money out front before anything is taken out monthly, right? And so getting with your lender to kind of give you a general idea of what the escrow account is going to be super helpful, because when you get that tax bill the next year,
Right.
you may look at it and be like, oh, well, why is this short, or why is my payment going up $200, or whatever the case may be. So it starts at the beginning when you close, and understanding that this is your payment now, this may be your payment in 12 months. So understanding that then, but then also getting with the lender so that you can prepare in advance for the next year and any possible changes with your mortgage and with your taxes. So I encourage buyers to really understand what an escrow account is and how it can benefit you to be able to manage that and understand it.
Agreed. Knowing is half the battle. And if you're actually able to understand that, then you will be able to not be sticker shock when it goes up, or just shout for joy when it actually goes down,
Right. Because that can happen too.
Right.
That happen often.
Right. Not happen often. But, sometimes you just want to put yourself in position to be able to be prepared to, if it goes up, even with mud tax and stuff like that. Everyone's not in a mud district.
Correct.
So everyone doesn't necessarily have to pay that. But sometimes when people are buying a home for the first time, that's a very popular question of
They don't understand it.
What is this? Why I have another tax? I've had clients that are they're zoned in 2 districts. So they pay tax for
both
2
districts,
different districts.
It's important to understand.
It could be a lot, so you just have to understand or know what's happening, be aware of what you're getting into when you come across those situations, and just have a better understanding, and for you to know how you want to move and what's going to make the best sense for you when it comes to all the taxes and fees that might be you have to deal with later.
Completely agree. And that's where your real estate professionals come in, and everybody that's on your team, your title reps, your escrow officer, your lender, everybody is here to answer questions. And I know there's so many emotions that are tied into a transaction. And then once we close, it's like, oh, we're excited. We got the house. We don't have to do anything else. But just make sure that you are getting educated throughout the process, so that you can have, again, a base foundation once you do close. And us as your real estate professionals, we're there. We don't just end at the closing table. Remember, we said this many times, we go together. We're married. This is a relationship. So we're there to help you, beyond the closing table.
Definitely. And something else that people should think about is mortgage protection. I did mention before, I help people with their insurance needs when it comes to that type of stuff. And mortgage protection basically is just that. I mean, it's a term policy that's going to help however long, for the 30 years, you never know what happens. Right. We all are planning to live life forever. I'm shooting for 120, believe it or not. I'm definitely going to be over 100. I hope, girl, I hope you're coming with me.
I hope so too.
But the thing is, life can happen, things can happen, accidents happen, because accidents are accidents. Right. I mean, they're called accidents because they're accidents. No control. No one ever thought something would happen. So if something was to happen to you or your family or someone, the breadwinner in the house who is covering this bill, this big bill, because the mortgage is the biggest bill in the house, in your home. So you want to make sure that you have something in place that if something was to happen, that you can get some type of proceeds out of that. And be able to cover yourself while you're ill, and be able to receive some type of benefits to care for yourself, as well as paying your mortgage as well, if something was to happen, or if someone unfortunately leaves the earth, the breadwinner of the home, or vice versa. We're on a 2-income situation, and then now we're not. What does that look like? Just having certain policies and certain things in place for the what ifs, not inviting it. You just want to, just like you have car insurance, we don't want to have a car accident, but in Texas, it's a very expensive.
It's expensive
bill to not have insurance.
But not have it.
Yes. But, we have a lot of different insurances for different things. And covering your mortgage if something was to happen like that is super important. So those are definitely things that you really need to consider and think about if you hadn't already thought about mortgage protection for your home.
Yeah, very good point. Thank you for telling the buyers about that. All right, so as we kind of wrap this up, one of the last things that I want to talk about is after your first year in the house, we talked about the taxes and filing your homestead exemption and the possibility that your mortgage payment may go up slightly or whatever the case may be. One of the things that you can lean on your real estate professional for is running a comparative market analysis for you. You may be in a position where you can protest your property taxes, right? What if you moved in that property and you did no improvements and, you hadn't really done a whole lot. And so you're wondering, why are my taxes going up sky high? Or why is this changing? And one of the things that you can do is ask us as your real estate professionals to run that analysis for you, see where your value could possibly be, take that to your tax assessor's office and protest. And voila, you don't have to worry about those taxes going up and paying that difference and eating that cost. And so I think a lot of buyers don't really know about that and haven't really taken advantage of that. But that's one of the things I tell my clients at the closing table. Make sure you give me a call. I'll run these numbers for you. And I've had plenty of people in the past where it has saved them on the back end because they were able to take that to the tax assessor, protest the taxes, and save them money.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, if anything that comes up at the end, once you're there, never know what type of questions. I mean, we definitely want to help out with protesting the taxes because, that's a big conversation that's happened in America. All taxes, that everything is going up.
Right.
So if you can control that, and actually right now in the season that we're in this market today, a lot of things are leveling out. Mm-hmm. So you should be aware of that. If everything is leveling out, the home market is leveling out, then why are your taxes here at the old rates versus where it being in the new rates? So you really have to pay attention to things like that. And if it feels funny, let's ask more questions and figure it out. Let's run the numbers just to make sure that they are not quoting you at something that's not even real, or that was yesterday's quote, not today's quote.
Exactly.
So you need to basically be armed with the right documentation, which we can give you, get with your professional realtor that can advise you on what that looks like. Now, sometimes you might be in a high neighborhood that's really hot.
Absolutely.
I've had conversations. I was like, ooh, sis.
The value has gone up, which is a good thing. Appreciation over time, because when you do decide to sell, if you decide to sell, you're going to get all that money back because you get that equity, so again, so we don't want to go into too many details with that, but just know that is a benefit to you as a consumer, that you can ask for that and you can fight and you can save money.
It's yours. But they say, it's my money. I want it now.
That part. All right. So hopefully you guys have walked away with some new knowledge about after the closing. And again, this is a relationship business, and we do hope that we can continue to build this relationship with you. Thank you for joining our community of Behind the Sign.
Yes.
We hope that you have enjoyed episode 12.
Yes, we did.
And we look forward to the next. And remember, what do the people need to do, Shawnte?
You need to click, like, subscribe, and share.
Share with your people.
With your people.
We would love to have them over.
Yes. If anything we say on this episode or any other episode, please share the videos with all of your closest friends or friends or foes, whoever. Share the information, because we're not gatekeeper, and we just cannot wait to see you on our next episode.
All right. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Till then. Bye.
Behind the sign, yeah. We see the glossy frame, but we're shifting the lens. Where the hustle starts and the blueprint begins. 2 agents, 1 mission, keeping it real. The soul of the story, the heart of the deal. Real conversations behind the same.